Educator. Today we'll be talking about what is called vector. When we say vector, vector is a word we use in science. Mostly we use vector in physics and biology. But in mathematics here, I will try to explain what is called vector. And when we say vector, vector is a quantity. That is, we can imply vector as when we are having different quantities. So quantities that has magnitude and direction. So the concept of vector, or if I would like to explain what is called vector again for the non-science students. When we say vector, vector implies quantity that has magnitude and direction. And when we say magnitude, it implies size. That is talking about size. So the concept of vector now. Talking about the concept of vector, I said the scalar product or dot product. That is, we have what we call scalar product under vector. So this scalar product, we can also call it what? Dot product. So this dot implies multiplication. So if you're having A dot B, that is, this A dot B means that, let's say an object moves from A to B. So that object moves from what? A to B. So the object has magnitude. That is, we can measure the size or the distance between the A and the B. So in vector, we're going to say A dot B and put a line on top. So this line on top here implies that A to B is a what? Vector. Now, if you have under scalar products, so the formula says that vector A dot B is equals to the magnitude of AB cos theta. So that is the scalar product, or we call it dot product. So this A dot B, what does it mean? It means we are going to multiply A times what? Times B. So A times B will be giving us what? The magnitude of AB cos theta. So that is what we call scalar or dot product. Now, I'll be giving us some questions on how to find the dot product. But let's just learn the concept of vector first. Then, after the concept, I'll be giving us some questions whereby you will know how to apply all these concepts to solve any question like that. Now, so take note of this first one. So this first one is the basic one of what? Scalar product. Now, talking about the cosine of angles between two vectors. Let's say angles between two vectors. Let's say we have a vector A and a vector B. It forms an acute angle, that is angle less than 90 degrees. So this angle here will be theta. So let's say this is our vector A and this is our what? Vector B. If I were to make it a triangle, it means it will be in this form. Now, so we are having here as our theta, which imply here is our what? Is our opposite. So this is our adjacent and our what? Hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse is our what? Cos, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. So I can say our cos theta is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So that is why we are using cos in the what? In the scalar product. So you can say A dot B, that is vector A dot B is equals to magnitude of AB, or you say the modulus of AB. So I believe you guys know what is called, or how to find modulus. So that is AB in modular, then cos theta. Now, the cosine of angles between two vectors, as I said earlier. So from this first formula, we can decide to make cos theta as the what? Subject of the formula. So if I make cos theta as subject of the formula, it means I will be having A dot B divided by magnitude of AB. That is, I made this cos theta as the what? Subject of formula. Now, if two vectors are perpendicular, or before, okay, let's talk about that. Let's say if two vectors are perpendicular, it implies that the vector, let's say you have vector A in this form and vector B in this form. This is what we call perpendicular. So it means this is our A and this is our what? B, which will form angle 90 degrees. So if it is being perpendicular, so it means our theta will be 90 degrees. So it means our vector A dot B will be giving us 0. Why will it give us 0? Since cos 90 is equals to 0, That is, if we insert 90 as our theta from the first what equation, so it means our a dot b, or vector a to b, will be equals to 0. Why? Because cos 90 is 0, and 0 times everything here will give us 0. So to give us a dot b equals to 0. That's for perpendicular, or we say orthogonal. Now, if two vectors have the same direction, that is, they are moving in the same way. Let's say we are having a vector going in this way, vector A, another going in this way, vector B. It means they are in the same direction, so no angle is being formed. So our theta is 0. So if our theta is 0, if we insert theta as 0 here, so what's cos 0? Cos 0 will give us 1. And if we multiply this magnitude of AB, so everything here will be what? So it means our vector A dot B will be giving us magnitude of AB. Since 1 times this will still be this, so we are going to have A dot B equals to what? Magnitude of AB. Now I said I will try to explain how to find the magnitude of AB. So when we ask some questions, so I will explain that. Now, the fifth one, if two vectors are opposite to each other, that is, they are going in different direction. We have explained when two vectors are acute angle to each other, that is, this and this form. So if you have been given the angle, let's say you are giving angle as theta or as 30 degree, so it means you will be having cos 30 degree here. Okay, I've been given as 60, it will be cos 60. But if they say that the two vectors are perpendicular, it means it is what? 90 degree, as I said before. Now, if the two vectors are opposite, it means, let's say the vector A is going in this direction and vector B is going in this direction. This is our B and this is our what? A. So the angle that will form between A to B will be what? 90 degree. That is, from this A, that when I say vector A and our what? Vector B. B is going this way, A is going this way. So it means the angle that will be formed between both of them will be what? 90 degree. That's angle on a straight line. So if our theta is now 180 degree, if you insert theta as what? 180 degree over here. So if you say cos 180 degree, cos 180 degree will give us -1. And if -1 multiplied by magnitude of AB, then our A dot B will be equals to what? Minus magnitude of AB. So that is where I will stop for the concept of vector. Now I will try to move to the vector product as well. So I've explained the scalar. Now talking about the representation of vector in 3 dimensions. Before I explain the vector product, now a vector A, you can see this is a vector A that has an arrow showing that it's a vector. So a vector A has 3 components in x, y, z. Let's say a vector A has 3 components x, y, z direction. Now these directions are perpendicular to each other, where I, j, and k are the unit vectors. That is, talking about, let's say we have vector A in 3 components. Let's say we have the x, y, z. That is, we have the x-axis, or let's say we have the x-axis, we have the y-axis. We also have one axis again. Now let's say this is our y, this is our x, and this is our what? Z. Now, so we can say our x-axis goes with the I component, then this one goes with the j, and this one goes with the what? With the k component. So now these directions are perpendicular to each other, where I, j, and k are the unit vector. So we can say the formula will be I dot j equals to magnitude of I times what? Magnitude of j, then cos 90. And whereby our cos 90 implies that it is perpendicular. And I believe you guys know perpendicular implies what? Angle 90 degrees. So which means that cos 90 is equals to what? Is equals to 0. And this 0 multiply everything here. So our I dot j will be equals to 0. That's how to represent, let's say, vector in 3 dimensions. Now, vector product itself. We say vector product, it implies, or we can also call vector product, we can also call it cross product. That is the first concept. Let's say you have vector A times vector B. So the formula will be magnitude of A times what? Magnitude of B sine theta. Unlike the previous one we did, you can try to scroll back, go to the scalar product. So now we are using cos, but for this one we are using what? Sine. Now, if you are trying to make sin theta as the surrogate of formula, so sin theta will be equals to what? Magnitude of vector A times vector B, or cross vector B, over magnitude of A times what? Magnitude of B. Now, as we said previously, when theta equals, or when it is perpendicular, I believe you guys know that perpendicular is what? Theta has 90 degrees. So you can say when theta is 90 degrees in this formula, so sin 90 will give us what? 1. And if 1 multiply everything here, so it seems you'll be saying vector A cross vector B will be equals to what? Magnitude of A times what? Magnitude of B. That is sin 90 equals to 1. So to make it this. Now, if two vectors are parallel, parallel means like in the same direction, or collinear. So they are collinear to each other. So it means our theta will be equals to 0. And what is sin 0? 0. So if 0 multiply everything here, it means our vector A cross vector B will be equals to 0. Now, as I said before, if vector A has 3 components, so let's say vector A, it can be first A, that is A1i plus A2j plus A3k. Then vector B can be B1i, B2j plus B3k. That is, if you have been given 2 vectors, whereby each vector, let's say, has 3 components. So with these 2 components, it will just be I and j, the first vector and the second vector, that's A1 and the A2. But with these 3 components, it will be A1, A2, A3, that is I, j, k. So we have 2 vectors here. So if you have to sum the 2 vectors together, so then vector A plus vector B, it means the vector that has the same component, I and I, will add each other. So you can say A1 plus B1. So A1 plus B1 times the I, or bracket I. Then also J and J will add each other. So the vector A plus vector B, so A2 plus B2, A3 plus B3. If you have to subtract or find difference of 2 vectors, so it will be A1 minus B1, A2 minus B2, then with the components J, I, J and what? K. And also, you can also find the cross product by determinant. Let's say you have to find a cross product of A and B. So, based on matrices, if you can go back to the previous video we did, I think we did matrices. Now, it will be in 3 components. Let's say we have I, J, K. So the first one, which is the first column, so we are having our A1 and our B1. Second column, we are having our A2 and our B2, then A3 and our what? B3. So after this, in the next slide now, I think we'll be talking about what is called, we'll be talking about some questions on how to solve vector or vector questions. So whereby you'll be applying all these concepts to solve. So now, talking about how to find the magnitude of vector. Now I said I'll be explaining how to find the magnitude of vector. So let's say the magnitude of the vector A is equal to 3i plus 2j minus 7k. How can we find the magnitude of this vector? So you say magnitude of this vector A is equals to, you do like this. This is how to show magnitude. I'm trying to find the modulus of A. So it means you say equals to square root of each unit or each component. So you have 3 as the first one, so you square it, then plus second one 2, you square it, then plus third one is minus 7, so minus 7 squared. So we are having square root of 3 squared is 9, then plus 4, then plus minus 7 squared is 49. Now you now sum everything together. So if you add 9 plus 4, so 9 plus 4 is 13. And if you now add 49 plus 13, so that will give us what? 61. That is 9 plus 3, 10, 11, 12, 62 rather, 62. So we'll be having what? 62. That's square root of 62. And whereby other side, I can decide to find the square root of 62. Square root of 62 can be also be, let's say, 62 divided by 2. That's 31. So that is 2 times 31. So it means square root of 62 can't be simplified further, so I'll stop there. So I can stop here as my square root of 62. So it means the magnitude of vector A is this. It's square root of 62. Now let's now look into a question. This is a Y question. So given that A is equal to 7i minus 3j and b is equals 5i plus 7j. That is talking about vector of two components, I and j alone. You have to find 3a plus b. How will you solve this? The first thing, 3a, this is our a, so to find our 3a will be equals to 3 into bracket, that is, what's our a? 7i minus 3j. So whereby to give us what? 21i minus 9j. That is 3 times 7, 21, 3 times minus 3, minus 9. Now, for the b now, what's our b? Our b is what? 5i plus 7j. So to now find 3a plus b. 3a plus b, what's our 3a? Our 3a is 21i minus 9j, right? Then plus, what's our b? Our b is what? 5i plus 7j. So whereby I and I, they are like things. So if you say 21 plus 5, that will give us what? 26i. Then minus 9 plus 7, that will give us minus 2j. So you stop here, since you have to find just 3a plus 3b. But if you are being asked to find the magnitude, let's say the question is being twisted to magnitude of 3a plus b. So what will you do? You will do what I did here. What we get here as our 3a plus b, then you now find the magnitude. You say square root of 26 squared, then plus minus 2 squared. So anything you get will be your final answer. So in our next class, I will be coming out with some questions, series of questions, how to find unit vector and how to sum vectors together. So thank you very much for following me, and please subscribe to Smooth.